If you build it, they will come. I built it, and they came. If you build it, he will come. I built it, and he came. He is I, and I am him. And we are one. And we won't be stopped, because we can't be stopped. Universe, you and I in verse, in harmony, harmonic resonance. Let's get into it. The way to break the duality and all these jokers trying to portray this duality is to throw it right back in their face. What I mean is, to defeat the whole system, you must mirror the system. When you mirror it back, two conditions always produce a third, just like in synergy. That's how you break the matrix. That's how I shattered this whole thing. That's what I'm here to teach the world. When you can counter something, that's how you achieve the whole thing with anti-gravity and break free of the system. Machiavelli, rest in peace. This whole thing has been set up 100% for me to show the world what I'm showing you right now. There's no mathematical probability, chances, coincidences, or any way of this happening to anyone but me. My friends and I, we've cracked the code. It took a lot of my friends to do it, but I got some friends and they're in some very, very, very high places. And I appreciate each and every single individual and entity that's helped me. So, what's going on is I broke the code. I'm the man in the mirror, Michael J. Talaske. There's a new 45 in town. That's me. The Black 23. When you get this, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. The other one is a red 23, and it's on someone else's foot in this video. So I'm gonna explain this whole thing. This can't go any other way or pertain to anyone other than me on the planet. I, Michael Joseph Talaske, am the Shoeman. The Shoeman Resonance. If you don't believe me, check out Stefan Burns's channel on YouTube. He's going through this whole thing where it's showing the huge spike that I have just caused. I've done what Tesla was trying to do back in the early 1900s. He was trying to cause a standing wave that would build up around the world. That's what's been achieved by man-made assistance and with what the sun's been doing. With the sun releasing all that, it's created this resonance effect. It's like first you see the lightning and then you feel the rumble from the thunder. The bass, the low sub that you can't hear but you can feel bass. That's what everything is. Sound. It's all based on sound. That's why in the beginning there was the word. Because the word is both spoken and felt at the same time. You can speak the word, people can audibly hear you, but they can also feel your tone. So it's the seen and it's the unseen, because it's all designed by sound. 1.618 Fibonacci spiraling to the right to create matter. It's that simple. If you want to go the other way, you would be destroying matter. 0.618 spun counterclockwise to the left toward counter space, because it's all about what Creed's telling you with this whole thing. The time in the magnetism, the electromagnetism, the visible light spectrum, or no time, where I am, at the center, at the 9, where the axle stays put and everything else is spinning around it. But when you get past this point, past the event horizon or past the plane of inertia, this is where you get into the black. Here you would have light, here you would have black. So here's the magnetism, here's the dielectricity. You need these two things in order to have electricity. You have to have it in a geometric form too. So what's going on is electricity always exists in both dimensions, space and counter space simultaneously. So electricity is always present in both. This is how you can have something that's matter and turn it into something that's complete information like MH370. And then turn it back to time or matter. It's simple. What I'm gonna break down is how we and I all arrived at this point together. Everything was set up for me to figure this out by myself. Only I could have done it. The clues were there for me to pick this up the whole time. And the whole time, I've been picking up the clues and storing them. When I finally sat down to put all the pieces of the puzzle together, everything fit. And it can't be any other way. This will be the greatest story that's ever been told, and it's being told by me, Michael Joseph Talaske, because it's all about the community. This stuff doesn't line up on accident. There are no coincidences. Everything is consciousness. That's the saying I came up with. And everybody's going to be saying the same thing too once they hear my story. The greatest story that will ever be told. What's happened is, since I started getting involved with this whole MH370 thing that's recently hit the news again, before Christmas time, with Ashton Forbes and his whole investigation with the videos, with the orbs and the plane disappearing into the black hole. I'm one of the witnesses that had seen this happen over Rogers City, Michigan. That's why they give us number 13 on the map, because it's Illuminati Central. That's why I just did all those videos, because I'm the one that just broke their code using help from other people. So what I was doing is all the numerology on MH370, plus I was going into the whole thing with Rogers City. I didn't realize how important Rogers City, Michigan really was. We're basically the North Star to Ed Leedskalnin's Coral Castle obelisk. We're the axle that doesn't move. Time spins around us. That's why I was showing you all the stuff with the boat harbor. And that's why the whole Super Bowl deal last year 2023, we made national news here. It's all to do with the Project Rainbow, the Philadelphia experiment, the Montauk Project, In Time, CERN, the Mackinac Bridge, the port of Rogers City and Calcite, Stoneport, this looking pyramid shape here, the triangle right in the land, among all these other ones that are pretty neat looking with the water here. So what's going on is that when I was trying to do all of this stuff, all these investigations, including this other guy's channel that I watch, was doing all this stuff with the magenta code. Now, he came up with all this stuff, and what I had done is I pulled it all together so that everybody could see all this stuff, just like I did on my whole channel. And I set it up in a certain way so that everybody could see from A to Z how it went. So in doing so, all this stuff converged with all these people that I've been communicating with on YouTube this whole time, telling them what I'm gonna do, and now it's happened. I first told Ken Wheeler that I was gonna combine basically all his magnetism stuff with all Eric Dollard's electricity stuff. And I was gonna combine that with my pyramid stuff and all my things that I had to show Ken that I had to actually physically build, because I had to get all this stuff into material existence so it can be shown to the world, so that everybody can understand this stuff. Because we're all on this earth together, and we're all gonna figure this out right now together. So I'm the teacher, I'm the builder, I'm the Atlantean Thoth return. I'm the builder, but I ain't no builder burger. I'm the Burger King, like Kanye West says. So this whole thing is all these combination of events, like I said, along with what the Schumann Resonance is doing right now. If you don't believe me, check out Stefan Burns's YouTube channel. He's going through this whole thing. He does an excellent job. He's an excellent dude. Along with all the people that I met through my whole life. They've all been a player in this whole thing, because we're all one functioning conscious brain. So the perfect storm has arisen, and I'm at the center of the storm. I've known this my whole life, but it's only until now that everything has confirmed it beyond 1,000%, 1,000 times over. What's going on is all these investigations and experiments where this guy come up with the magenta code, and he's been showing this to all his subscribers and all the people on his channel. I went into the whole MH370 thing, doing the numerology. Then I did this whole Illuminati thing, crossing everything up with this magenta code, with the numerology, with my city, only to find out that what Rogers City, Michigan is the RC time constant in electrical engineering. Like I said, time stands still here, it doesn't move. And that's just how the city is. It's still an old time city, but everything around it is progressing faster. So what had happened to me is I had an out-of-body experience from eating something that was growing in the ground back in college in 1999, the same year that the movie The Matrix came out. I went down the rabbit hole. So while everyone else was still experiencing time on the entire planet, I wasn't. When I came back, my time started again. What had happened was I was downloaded with a lot of information from a bunch of different sources, and then I came back with it to share it here with the world to you, and that's what I've been trying to do. It didn't all make sense to me while I've been doing this whole thing, but it all makes perfect, complete sense now, and this can't be refuted. So, what's going on is what happens when Neo wakes up in the Matrix. What happens when the singularity becomes self-aware? We're all about to find out together because that singularity is Michael Joseph Talaske. I've broken the code. I've shattered the duality to pieces. That's why you're seeing all these spikes in the Schumann resonance and all these glitches happening in the Matrix, because I'm the one that glitched it, and I glitched it on purpose to do this. What I'm telling you is, back in 2008, I was opening a portal here using not my pyramids, but just my energy. And it must have been a success because what I'm about to show you here is proof that it worked. I asked for a wish to please let me do something big to bring this free energy stuff and just to let me be able to do my music. That's what I asked for, and with the help of Nikola Tesla and all my friends, this is what happened. This is my story. So let me show you a couple quick pictures of what had happened and leading up to this whole thing. My pond basically here, because it's right next to my concrete pyramids, it does this thing called cymatics where it operates off of sound. And it's just basically the same as when they put sand and they vibrate a plate or whatever, and it causes shapes to appear. So my pond is like a reflecting pool. It's like a portal because that's what a mirror is. It's a reflector. That's what they're doing with all this Mackinac Bridge stuff and 5G. They're bouncing signals off of the lake, doing what I call this whole Project Rainbow thing. It's a continuation of just the rainbow light spectrum and how they're just manipulating stuff. So my pond basically speaks and gives me signs. So I watch out for all this stuff because I've been picking up all the pieces this whole 45 years, only to put them together just last week. And then this weekend, what had happened is last weekend, I figured out that basically I'm Neo in the Matrix with my neodymium stuff, with my magnets and everything that's been going on. That's what it is. The second thing I realized this weekend was that instead of the other shoe dropping, the other shoe got slipped back on. And that other shoe is a black Air Jordan. And that's all I can tell you. It's just like shoeless Joe Jackson in the Field of Dreams. This whole thing is wild beyond belief. So basically I'm wearing a boot like Neo would wear in the Matrix, a black boot, and then I'm wearing an Air Jordan that's black too. So this is what happened in the days leading up to the weekend of January 6th and 7th. I knew it was going to be good when I saw this. So this means basically everything's whole, everything's good, everything's one. Just like Creed says. And that's the goal, is to be unified. Take from one, give to another. So this was the second thing that happened. So you can see that quite a bit's changed. Another shot. And then it went back to this. Because these are all signs. Just like all the birds and everything that's out there, it's all part of the same conscious deal. It's faster than light. So then we came to what I was showing you with the whole Pink Floyd thing. That was the first thing that I was really thinking about when I was a kid, because I would look at these 8-tracks and these record covers. So I was always trying to figure out that mystery. Well, the mystery is that's the dielectricity, faster than light right here. This is counter space, this is space, this is your light spectrum out the other end. So this would just be the whole thing that's going on. It's a triplicate situation because you got your triangle. And depending on what way that thing's spinning, it's either producing matter or it's destroying. It's a two-way deal. It's like a black hole, a white hole. So here's what happened following when I made my announcement that I was Neo in the Matrix. I wasn't sure what to expect, but what happened just proves beyond a shadow of a doubt, 1,000%, 10 times to 1,000,000 times over. This is completely true. So it's from Ryan Upchurch. It says 2024 turning point of the century. And you can see he's got that castle right there. And he's sitting underneath a wheel. So the next thing that came up in my feed when I got up the next day, after announcing I was Neo in the Matrix, there's a Supercross extended highlights deal. Because they're scraping your thoughts constantly and they're showing you all this stuff. So this is the next video that popped up in my feed. And this is another guy whose channel I watch. And he is the one that's doing the magenta code. So his code crossed up with all the stuff that I was doing, led me to figure out my own code and then to break it. And in doing so, I actually cracked another code that has to do with the whole thing that I'm gonna use as a baseline or as a ruler for proving this whole thing right up front. I'm not gonna get to the end of this to prove it. I'm gonna run this whole thing in reverse because we're going back to the future. That's how this whole thing is working. Like I told Ashton Forbes on this whole MH370 investigation, in order to figure it out, sometimes you have to go backwards to go forwards. So that's exactly what I've done with this whole Coral Castle thing, and that was the key to solving everything that I figured out. So that was the next one that popped up in my feed. And then the Pink Floyd and the Beatles thing popped up. So that was what showed up on my feed the next day after I said I was Neo in the Matrix. I wasn't sure what to expect, what people were gonna do or say, or what the Illuminati was gonna put into my feed, because your feed in all your social media is just like your consciousness. They're putting programming into you. If you're not transmitting and putting your own stuff out, your own ideas, your own original thoughts, then, and you're just sitting back and listening, then you're just intaking. You're just being programmed. You're not programming anything. That's what I'm trying to do, is reprogram the whole thing, and that's how I shattered this thing. So, it says, the king is dead, long live the king. So they're talking about Elvis. The next one is a Supercross one. Okay, so those were the feeds that came up after I said I was Neo in the Matrix. This is what ended up happening to my pond. It started developing stress cracks in it. Okay, and these were the comments that was left on my channel after I said I was Neo in the Matrix. This is what really made me smile, because this confirms everything I'm talking about. DARPA has Tesla teleport technology. It's called Tesla teleportation. They've had it since at least the late 60s, but they've had chronovisors before that to where they could see into time. That's how they knew about 9-1-1. So they knew all this stuff in advance, but they couldn't touch that situation either, because they did the same thing that they did to me. They didn't want to disturb the butterfly in the cocoon. They had to let me manifest this thing myself and figure it out myself. They let all these clues be put in front of my face, but I guess I was just able enough to see it, pick them up, and then be able to sort it, organize it, and arrange it. Because basically Pluto has been in Capricorn, my sign, for like 20 years. So there's been this whole blockage because that's like chaos. So I come here to organize this whole thing so we can all get back on the same track in the universe, in harmony, harmonic resonance. We're all vibrating together, because all matter is vibrating. It doesn't matter how big or small, it's vibrating. So here's what it is. It says, the very first comment on here, it says, "Hi Neo," just like in the movie. So they're just proving that they've been waiting for me this whole time. This was just their way of showing. And then what's the next thing that said? Mr. Anderson. That's what they say to Neo. So that's what's going on. It's to that level. I'm not surprised, because I've known I was different this whole time. But I'm here to jailbreak the whole system. So put on your electronic seatbelts and whatever else you got, like my buddy says, because this whole thing is gonna get wild. Please stay tuned.